We have given an m by n matrix which consists of m rows and n columns. We have to traverse the matrix in the spiral order. That is, we have to traverse the first row from left to right, and second row from right to left, and third row from left to right. And while we are traversing, every visited element is added into the temp array. If the sum of elements in the temp array is a perfect square, then we have to remove all that elements from the temp array, and we have to add was sum into the output array. Finally, so here it is 4. After adding into the output array, we have to continue the process for the remaining element. So we have to return the maximum value which is present in the output array. If the output array is empty, then we have to return the -1. Let us take an example. So let us take an example of matrix. This is the matrix. First row we have to traverse from left to right. So while we are traversing, we visited the 4 first. So 4 is added to the temp array. So sum of elements in the temp array is 4, which is a perfect square. So it is removed from the temp array and added to the output array. And next 2 is added to the temp array. It is not a perfect square. The second row is traversed from right to left. 4 is added to the temp array. The sum of element is 6. It is not a perfect square. And 3 is added to the temp array. The sum of element is 9. It is a perfect square. So it is added into the output array. Next 5 is, we have to traverse from left to right because it is a third row. So 5 is added to the temp array. It is not a perfect square. And 6 is added to the temp array. The sum of element is 11. It is not a perfect square. So we got 4 and 9 in the output array. So we have to return the maximum value in the output array, which is 9 here. So 9 is the answer for this matrix. Let us see the code implementation of this example. So initially I have created an object for scanner and took the number of rows and number of columns, and created a 2D array of m by n size, and I have used 2 for loops for taking the input, and I have taken the input for every element in the matrix. And also I have taken reference variable flag which tells whether we have to move from left to right or right to left. And sum is used to, so instead of taking temp array, we can just simply take one variable which is sum and add it to the sum, because we require sum, so we don't need to use that extra space. And the result is used to, so instead of taking output array, we can take result. We can update result whenever we get the sum as a perfect square. Okay, next, initially, uh, this for loop is used to iterate through every row. If flag is true, we have to move from left to right, 0 to n. If otherwise, we have to move from right to left, that is n minus 1 to 0. So every visited element is added to the sum array. If it is a perfect square, then result is updated with sum. If the sum is greater than the result, then result is assigned with sum, otherwise the result remains same. After that, I will make sum equal to 0. The same will be done here. And after visiting every row, we have to inverse the flag, because if flag is false, the next row the flag should be true. If the flag is true for the next row, it should be false. So I did this line flag equal to not flag. If there is no operation done here, that is, if the result is not updated, there is there is no any perfect square, then the result should be -1. We have already given result equal to -1, so our answer is result. Just we can print that result. So for this matrix, this is the output.